Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. This is episode 2. Guys, if you haven't missed any of the previous episodes, well, I say episodes, the first episode, we have a playlist now on YouTube, which has got all the different variety of videos that we're going to be doing. So do go and check those out. Obviously, if you're new here and haven't seen the video yet, do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are already a regular viewer and aren't subscribed, please do. Right, today, Sweet and Sour Soccer. What we're going to do, guys, is we look at the past week or so of footballing news and really just try and compact it into a 15, 20-minute video as like a fast recap. The first thing I want to say, Scott, is it's actually not football related. I just want to touch on it quickly because I'm a big F1 fan. Murray Walker, who sadly passed away this week, I think 97, so a very good innings. He's been broadcasting F1, I think since the 50s or the 40s, something crazy. So condolences and, our thoughts go out to his family there. How are you doing, first of all?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, sound. I'm a bit nervous about tonight, but obviously we'll talk about that a bit later on. If anyone doesn't know, it's Liverpool Wolves tonight, so we'll see how that goes. This video comes out after the game, so
Tomorrow, yeah. So.
Yeah, we won't actually know. Right, first thing I want to talk about, filthy, Lamella's goal of the season, arguably already. That's it.
Yeah, I've seen people going in on, I think it's Martin Tyler, isn't it, the commentator, for not getting a bit more
animated,
ecstatic with it. Yeah, he was. Yeah, didn't really play it up much, but God, what a goal! Yeah, he's a weird one, isn't he, Lamella? And I think he showed that later on in the game when he then went and got himself sent off.
He just does these silly things like what he did against Martial against United and got him sent off. He should have been sent off for that. He just does silly things. I mean, he scored a Rabona in his first season, arguably a better one because it was outside the box. I think it was in the Europa League or something like that. But yeah, I mean, what a goal. What a goal. The next thing we want to come on to, which is a big thing for me, and I know we speak about this anyway, is just the state of the Championship. It seems to have gone downhill over the last few years. It's just the same names at the top of the league, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really disappointing to see, isn't it? As you say, Norwich, they went down last season with a whimper, and then they seem to be coming straight back up.
They were shocking last season, the league, one of the worst Premier League teams in years, and now they're storming away with the Championship again. I think Swansea are second or third. If not them, it's Watford who are second and third. I mean, the problem for me, it's these parachute payments. I was doing some research into it, and they introduced parachute payments back in 2006-2007 season, and it was to help teams over 5 years. They changed it in 2015, so now it's only 3 years that the payments are spread out over. Now, 100
so they get these massive payments, do they?
But get this, if you go down in your first season in the Prem, it's 2 years. So you get 100 million, give or take, to come up. And then when you go down, you get 50. If you don't manage to come back up that season, you get another 50 million. I mean, this is the problem is, how are the teams like Millwall, Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham, how are they meant to compete who haven't been in the league for 10, 15 years? They've just got no chance. This is why players like Troy Deeney, who could easily be a Palace or someone like that, can afford to stay at Watford because they'll pay him more wages. Like, you can't give these Championship teams 50 million for going down and 50 million pounds a year later. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is one of them, isn't it? I mean, I think it's up to the club, really. They should make sure they're putting in the right contract agreements with their players. I mean, obviously easier said than done, but when they sign the players, there should be a term. I think some clubs do it, but where the wage automatically reduces if they go down.
I think the FA need to change it and just say, you can't have £100 million in the space of 18, 24 months going back into the Championship because you're almost guaranteed promotion again. How are other teams meant to compete?
No, you are completely right with that. I think as well, you've got to consider that as you say, it's the same teams every year almost. I mean, you've also got to consider the fact that COVID's going to have an impact and make this even worse, because now there's quite a few clubs that haven't had a revenue stream for a good while. And I imagine a lot of them that have been down there for a while probably rely on their ticket gates. I mean, it's not really a massive thing in the Premier League, but the Championship, it's probably quite a big source of their income, or definitely more than obviously the Prem. And I think Simon Jordan was saying, interestingly, on Talk Sport, he was discussing this, saying that the Championship don't really get paid that well from the TV broadcasters, and they need to, they need to start pushing a better deal, which I found really interesting. Obviously, Simon Jordan himself, controversial character at times, but he does offer some really good insights, and I thought that was an interesting discussion. Look, one positive though is Brentford are still in the mix. I'd really like to see them come up, obviously, because they're a team that haven't had the parachute payments, have they? Because they haven't been up.
The only way they can make money is because
they seem to do brilliantly, selling their best player every year, then replace them. Obviously they lost their main striker this year and brought in Ivan Toney, which unless they go up, I imagine he'll be off to a bigger club. And
we've been linked to them.
Every year they just replace them and they're there or thereabouts, aren't they?
I mean, we've been linked with that Ivan Toney, so we could be one of the culprits that keep them in the league. But I mean, it needs to change, because you think about it. Norwich went down last season, so they got 50 million. If they now come straight back up, so they'll get their 100 million or whatever, they're going to get another 50 million because they went down 2 years ago. So they're actually going to make money from the Premier League 2 seasons. It's got to change. It really has. I mean, speaking of teams that have got a lot of money, Salford, wow, beat Portsmouth in the EFL trophy. I don't know what they call it now. It used to be the Johnson's Paint Trophy, didn't it? What is it? Just the EFL trophy now?
I think so. I think that they tend to have a sponsor, don't they? But is it Johnson's Paints now? I think it is, isn't it? Johnson's Paints.
Used to be that. Well, it used to be that for the last couple of years. I don't know if they've changed it, but I mean, this is a team that were in like Division 9 of the Tier 9 of English football, and now they're in winning trophies at Wembley's in the EFL Cup. They'll be in the Championship in the next 5 years, and they'll probably be in, this is going to sound stupid, they'll probably be in Europe within the next 10 years.
Wow. Do you think they've got that much of a...
Almost guarantee it. Because imagine when you get to the champion, when they were in the conference in the National League and even lower, they were getting League 2 managers.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Because they had the money. Yeah.
They've got that pull. Can you imagine when they get to the Championship, which, let's be honest, they'll be in the Championship in the next few years. I think they're 6th or 7th in the league now, so they could hit the playoffs. Can you imagine the amount of academy players they can get from United? Nicky Butt's there, Scholes, Giggs, Neville, Beckham's involved. Like, they'll definitely be in Europe in the next 10 years for me. They'll definitely be in the Premier League in the next 5 years.
Imagine the irony if they end up replacing United in Europe.
Yeah, they beat United for the Premier League trophy in like 15 years. It's just crazy.
That'd be hilarious, because I think a lot of their fans originated from people that weren't allowed to go to United anymore for reasons of being banned and stuff like that. So.
Oh right, yeah. So they've just switched allegiance. Yeah, I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
It's. I think they've just built a new ground as well in the last year or two that got finished off. So, yeah, they're one of the teams that won't be struggling because of COVID. I know Gary Neville says it on his podcast sometimes, like, oh, we're also not making the money we want. Come on, man. Like, Gary Neville's got more money than every other club in that division combined.
What's your view on it, though? Are you happy about this? For me, I don't really back it. I don't really enjoy seeing it either. I think you can build everything, can't you, except a fan base. And I mean, what we're going to end up with probably like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 of what you could call proper loyal supporters, and the rest will just be those that decided to join the ride at some point.
I mean, the fan base side of it will take 15, 20, 30 years. Obviously, kids now that are 5, 6, 7, 8 who are just coming into football. 5 years ago, Salford wouldn't have been on their radar. Now, with the likes of Giggs and Beckham's involved, especially in another 5 years when I think they'll be in the Championship or Premier League, you know, they'll start getting that younger generation like that City fans are getting now.
I suppose as well. Sorry, I was just going to say, I suppose, maybe it's obviously not easy, is it, to get a United ticket? So maybe fans that can't get the hold of a United ticket might go and watch them.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, I've gone and watched teams like Stafford Rangers before. If I haven't got a ticket for the Wolves game, I've done that just to watch football, so they'll definitely not be short of fans. And if they when they do get to the Championship the next 3 or 4 years, it'll just increase and increase and increase. I mean, speaking of United as well, quite a comfortable win over West Ham on Sunday. West Ham didn't really pose anything, which is strange for the way they've been playing in the last month or two. And obviously Lingard couldn't play, but United got a bit of an injury crisis at the moment. Rashford looked off it as well. Cavani wasn't playing. Pogba wasn't playing. I thought West Ham would have gone for it, but they didn't. I mean, I think United now are guaranteed top 4. Very good win for Leicester. I know it's against a crap Baggies team, but Sheffield United team, but it was a good win. I think United and Leicester will get 4th now. Who do you think will get that last 4th spot?
Who do I think? I think possibly. Probably saying Chelsea, maybe.
Chelsea, yeah. They're on a great one, aren't
they? They slipped up at the weekend, or I say slipped up. To be honest, I think Leeds did very well, and obviously I've been a bit critical of Bielsa. I thought he showed some great defensive managerial work there. I mean, a lot of people have said about him he's too attacking minded and doesn't care too much on defence. I thought that was a great defensive display for me. I
think they've only scored 1 goal in the last 4 games, Leeds. They've really put up in front of goal.
It's that transition, isn't it? Maybe Bielsa's thinking I do need to focus a bit more on defending, and obviously that's going to have repercussions. So maybe, but I suppose now's the perfect time to test things out and find a new balance. Which I keep alluding to with our football club Wolves. I wish we would try a few new things to bring into the next season, but we'll see.
If we had Leeds' attacking ability and Leeds had our defensive ability, you've probably got a top 4 team. A comfortable top 4 team. If we take it to the bottom of the league now for the first time this season, I think that's fair to say we've actually had a relegation battle, and relegation battles and the Premier League go hand in hand. It's one of the things it's famous for. 6 teams fighting it out on the very last day of the season. We famously did it against Blackburn and knocked St Birmingham down. There's been loads, but up until 2 weeks ago, it was dead. I mean. Mate, I keep looking at the league table. I don't want to make this a Wolves show, but I just want to point out that we're only 9 points away and we're 13th in the league. We've still got to play Fulham. We've still got to play Newcastle again. We've got to play Brighton. We've got to play the Baggies. We've got to play a lot of teams down there.
God, don't say that. I think I'm hoping we're safe, but
9 points.
Who do you pick out of them? Who's going to be the last to go down? Or, I suppose Sheffield United are gone. Are you giving West Brom any chance to build another, as they call it, great escape? I don't think even most Albion fans are, to be fair. But who's the third one then? Who's your third choice?
This is really annoying. You know what I'm going to say. 2 weeks ago, we were going to do a recording, but we didn't put it out in the end. On the recording, I said, and this is when Newcastle were about 6 points clear. It was about 4 games ago. Newcastle were like 6 points clear, and I said, I think Newcastle will go down. Now, saying that doesn't sound so ridiculous.
No, I thought you were going to stick to that, to be honest. You know what, my opinion still stays the same. I think it'll be Brighton to go, and I think Scotty Parker's going to keep Fulham them up.
I think Fulham will be okay. I don't know with Brighton, man. They create a lot of chances, and they got a good result at the weekend. That was a big win for them. I mean, I think Southampton have lost 9 out of 11 games. Their last 11 games. I mean, if Southampton aren't safe, which they're not safe, you can't say we are, because I think we're only a point ahead. But I mean, the whole point of it is we've actually got a good relegation battle now.
Let's move on to where obviously they're
Yeah.
not in the relegation battle, so to speak, because I don't think there's any way back. But let's discuss the Wilder situation. Obviously, we've got on our live stream, which will be Saturday, we've got a Sheffield United fan coming on. I'm interested to hear what he will make of it. But what did you make of it yourself?
How long's Wilder been there? It's like 6 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, 6, 7 years, 7 years, is it? Something ridiculous.
They've never lost by 5 goals. The game that he leaves, the game after he gets sacked, they lose 5-0. You can't make this shit up. They're just, it's a ridiculous decision. Sheffield United could not be in the Premier League for another 20 years. That's,
the performance last season kind of hid what was a bit of a turbulent journey into the Premier League. Again, I'm looking forward to speaking to Jack on the stream about this. But when they came up, I think they had 2 owners trying to claim the club, which was just mad. And then I believe it was the ones that the fans didn't want to actually claim ownership did end up with ownership. And I don't know, maybe they don't have a great connect to him, and they certainly don't have a great connection with him now. Wilder's gone. Absolutely ridiculous decision. Whether Wilder offered to step down, but I don't. Even if he did, I don't know why. Why haven't they done everything to keep him?
Yeah, I don't believe he said, "Listen, I'm not the right man to get you back up when I've done it from League One and the Championship." There's bigger teams than Sheffield United that haven't been in the top division for 30 years. Let's be honest.
No, so I don't think it's come from him. Sheffield United fan as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the sad thing as well. You think maybe it is disdain from the board. Maybe the board just. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about the background of Sheffield United, but just on the surface, so many teams get rid of managers at the wrong time. I look back at Slaven Bilic at West Brom. Would it have been different if he'd have stayed there? You can't just expect to hit the ground running in this league. And when teams do go down and they stick with a manager, normally they do tend to do well, whether it's next season or the season after. Let's try and wrap this up. Speaking of there's one young lad that you wanted to talk about, obviously doing really well in Germany, Mr. Bellingham, local lad.
Yeah, Mr. Bellingham, obviously Birmingham player, Birmingham fan. They obviously retired the shirt, and everyone was thought it was absolutely comical. Maybe in 5 years it's not going to look so stupid. Yeah, doing absolutely brilliantly. Only 17 years old, and moved to a different country, and he's getting Champions League time. He got some time in the group, but he really shone against Sevilla in the last week.
Yeah.
And then there was the situation today where the under-21s squad got announced, and there's some big names in that. The likes of Greenwood, Hudson-Odoi, named for that competition. Bellingham was missed out, which has got everyone speculating that maybe he's even going to be included in the first team picture. And then that was further confirmed when ADB Freud, the under-21 England manager, said that he might be needed by the first team, which I think fair play. We've got such a great England in general. We've got such a great pool of talent to choose from now. Whether that will end up in international success, I don't know, but I think it's our best chance for a good while.
If he does, I don't think he'll start, but if he did, who would you want to see him instead of? If you could choose the team, but you had to play Bellingham, who would you replace with him? Who would you partner next to him? Where would you play him? What kind of role?
Oh, well, he'd have to be doing. I think you've hit the nail on the head, but I don't think he will start. I think he can be used down the right, or he can be used as a centre mid, and we've just got such great pool of talents there. But I think he'll be perhaps someone that's took for the experience and might be called upon, but might have more chance in the centre mid role. But I'm looking at that, and you've got the likes of Henderson if he's fit. You've got the likes of you've got Rice, obviously. You've got Phillips as well. I wouldn't put. I wouldn't put him, I
player.
don't know. I wouldn't say I'd put him over those two, but I must admit I haven't watched Dortmund religiously, so maybe maybe yeah, he does deserve it. I must, but
Yes,
yeah, either way, 17 years old, could be called up to the Euros. What a great thing! Even for me as a Wolves fan, as an England fan, I'm delighted to see him get the call up if that does happen, or even get the chance to play in the first team.
I agree. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Let's not do what England seem to do and just you have to be 21, 22 before you can start playing, whether you're good enough or not. And I think I'm not Southgate's biggest fan, as we know, but I think if anyone was gonna play the likes of Saka, Foden, Grealish, and all these players in a big game, I think it could be Gareth. So trial him out in this international break. Let's see him.
Definitely.
Don't take him and not play him. If you're gonna take him, play him, or let him get some game time in the under-21s.
Yeah, agreed. Well, there we go. That's been episode 2.
Yep. Check out the playlist for episode 1. And I'm hoping this isn't going to sound stupid, but it was a great result for Wolves yesterday. 4-0. What a win. If that comes true, then brilliant. But
I'm going to go the other way and say, God, Diogo got a hat-trick against us. Made us remember why we shouldn't have let him go. So let's see how the 2 was more accurate by time you guys watch it. See you next time, guys.